Hey y'all, doing this Freestyle Friday. I hate when this thing starts over. I sure do hate that. How y'all doing today? Come on in. It might be where I'm located, honey. Y'all come on in. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I've been packing this hat down. This thing got pretty full up there. I got it packed to the limit. Keeping it packed down. It's soft. Y'all get in here. I'm up here making myself look like a woodpecker. How y'all doing? I be smiling like I ain't got no teeth. Hey everybody, Miss Linda Robinson. Let me see who all I got on here. Dinah Arnett, my baby Arnett. I got some good people on here today. Mike on here, Mike Webber. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, Bridget, you gonna have to sit down. Bridget, we got to talk today. You got to sit down. It's Freestyle Friday. Baby, I'm finna get right into it. Cause we finna talk about Amber and Anthony. Honey. honey. We got so much to talk about, y'all. In respect, it's Freestyle Friday. That mean I can be a little silly. That mean I'm gonna talk on some truth. That mean I'm gonna motivate. That mean I'm gonna talk about hot topics. That mean I'm gonna give my Black History moment. I hope y'all still love me. Mother Joyce Anderson, how you doing? Mother Joyce Costa, Avis White. I got my strength. Honey, my helpers is in the house today. Don't let me see Mother Deborah Dunbar name run across him. And I'll be like, Lord, have mercy. Y'all, I think I'm going to start my podcast totally different. I think I'm going to do me a whole different podcast, change my name on TikTok, because I want to do these topics. Instead of focusing on cooking, I want to focus on topics, Black history, and other things like that. So I think I'm going to change. I think that's what I'm going to use with my Mama's Comfort Cooking page. Because I can go live. And I can turn my camera on because I got enough people. But if I start a whole new page, I got to wait to get 1,000 people to turn my camera on. Or 300 or something like that. But, yeah, I think I'm just going to use that one and do a whole lot of this stuff that I'm doing over here. Because Black history really shouldn't be reduced to 28 days. It just shouldn't. And I know over here, y'all just want to see me cook and teach Bible study. I'm not going to cook all the time regardless, because food just so high. We got so much to talk about. We're going to cover that too. We're going to talk about everything being made in America, how we can't do that. Hey, you just woke up? No, I didn't just wake up. Nope, I've been up since 4 something this morning. I'm on bed rest. And then I laid back down and I got back up again. I just don't come live early. And I'm on bed rest because I just had injections in my back. And I'm not supposed to be doing that. For the next couple of days, because I still, the nerve blockers are wearing off. And I got so much pain in my body, but I'm getting up and down. Yes, the tariffs. We ain't even going, we already know DeMadre. I already know he putting them, we can't afford them. He putting them tariffs, and we cannot afford, you cannot make everything in America. Because Americans want too much for our stuff. So we can't make everything in America. It's just not feasible, honey. A bag of potatoes would be $15. We ain't gonna be able to do it. So I'm on bed rest. I sit back, relax, put on my headgear. And if you don't agree with me, you can respectfully disagree and bring your point to the table. And we are not going to be mad at you because you see things different with respect. Just keep it respectful, and then we can talk, right? Because you might enlighten me on something, all right? So I'm just talking. Again, no cooking. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for saying hey. But I got to get on some stuff, y'all. First of all, who all watch Country Wayne? We're going to go and get started because I cannot tell y'all. I can't see the stars. I can't see nobody, how many people I got on here. But Lord have mercy. Anthony done finally told Amber that that's his baby. Now, I don't know how Amber couldn't figure it out. DeMarjorie, we ain't going to be able to do it, baby. We just ain't. See, the way America was set up, we knew we couldn't afford to make all of our food. And we knew we had to do import and export. America is built on transportation. But let me talk about this first, DeMarjorie. Then I want you to come back with all the stuff you just wrote with the tariffs and all that stuff. But honey, Anthony done told Amber that's his baby. Now, for y'all don't know, this is a series on Country Wayne, which I knew she was going to put it together because the other day she had put a tracker on Anthony's car. And she tracked Anthony, and he was at the pediatrician with Shayla with that baby. And now he done went and broke Amber heart like that. But let me tell you, a broken heart is a clear mind. Amber gonna take Anthony to the bank. Anthony did not get Amber. Listen, when he married Amber, so you got to be careful when you lay around and tell a man everything you did. It's a double standard. No disrespect to men. But men can go out and cheat and have extramarital affairs and lust. But it's a double standard when a woman do it. They can't take it. And Anthony messed around when he married Em. And he didn't do a prenup. He was still mad at her because she was sleeping with Country Wayne up until the day she married him. Now Wayne gonna end back up in Amber's bed. You watch and see. Wayne is laying low on this. I thought Wayne was going to show out on Shayla, but Wayne is going to get back with Amber. And Wayne going to quit doing business with Anthony. Wayne and Anthony and Rolanda going to have to choose. And Rolanda is going to choose Wayne. And Anthony and Amber are going to be broke and living in that apartment that he got. And Amber gonna get that house and that car, and she gonna get with Wayne. And Amber gonna milk, when she get through, Amber gonna be in a better position for what he did. He gonna pay, but he gonna pay this way. He gonna pay that way. And she did good with that, but it couldn't have done. It wouldn't have done if that was Taraji P. Henson. You can tell then her acting skills wasn't that good. Because Amber should have been sliding all over that Palencia in the kitchen. Amber should have been sliding on that ground. Amber should have chased him. She had that knife in her hand. Honey, Amber was supposed to play that out. That's what I said. Didn't I say that? I said Shayla and Anthony going to be in that tiny apartment. I said Amber going to take him for all he got. And Anthony and Shayla going to end up in that tiny apartment. And if I didn't, that's what I meant, Natalie. You're right. Shayla and Anthony. That's what I meant to say. Sometimes I just be going on. Y'all know I say the wrong names sometimes. But that's what I meant. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Trinice. She gonna get him. She gonna get him. For all this work. She didn't get close enough to cut no finger off. You know, they won't let that be on Facebook. That would have got the whole page took down. You know, Facebook ain't gonna let you get that far. They would have flagged him. But, baby, I was like, I'm just waiting. Because Wayne got to be out of town doing some work. He got to be out of town. Shayla don't even care. And her mama is worse than she is. And her mama is baiting Anthony and calling him a king. Because she wants Shayla to be able to keep Anthony. Her mama is calling Anthony, oh, this is your king. You're a king, baby. for the love of money. This girl was supposed. See, that's why you got to be careful. When you call people your friends, you let them in your life, you let them in your circle. Just like we got to be careful with all we letting all these people in America run America. I don't care if Muskie is from South Africa and lived in Canada. It doesn't matter. He is not a citizen. He's here on a visa, and he shouldn't be trying to bribe our government, our federal government, offering people payouts and buyouts in Social Security and the IRS and these federal jobs. He has no right doing it. Listen, first of all, Muskie, this one thing I can tell y'all, the reason why I know the Republicans are not happy. Muskie bought his way into the political arena of 45, 47. He gave him $500 million because he has over $300 billion. But he's a Democrat. Muskie is a Democrat. And Muskie had no right sending out a letter to all these federal employees and saying that it was from the department, from their departments, offering these people buyouts. And he need to go back. I don't care if you Democrat, and I don't care if you Republican. He needs to go back. Because we got people in the United States that's citizens, that's capable, that's not here on a visa, that's capable of helping our president. Plus, he also has a vice president. And like I told y'all, one thing we have to look at is the truth. I went on Fox News, and I've yet to look on CNN. But even on Fox News, and that's one thing I can say, they one-sided a lot of times, but in some situations, they not. And in this situation, Fox News agrees with everybody. The president can't point no finger really about what happened with that Black Hawk and that airplane, because they are investigating it. There were two people from Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, and Gwinnett County, Gwinnett, Georgia, that were on it. One was on the Black Hawk, and the other one was on the American Airline. What they do know is they were less than 1 point something in difference of crossing each other. So based on whatever they were being read to in aviation, they ended up, the Black Hawk ran into the plane. These rumors that there was not a pilot on the Black Hawk, that's not true. They were carrying military soldiers. The fact that that airport probably shouldn't be where it is, he can't blame it on DEI. They have nothing to do with it. That's one thing both parties are saying. He's just signing stuff. He's already done signed something now to be able to fire aviation and to look into aviation in every airport. And what I don't understand is you got to give us, Americans always had to work through their stuff and figure out what was wrong. You have to give us time. All these governors are saying that they are so sorry that this has happened and that the different people from different states that was affected. Now it's not the time to start all this chaos. Let's find out what happened. Let's find out what went wrong. You think about it. We don't never know when we get on an airplane. We don't never know when we go up in the air or when we land. All we know is God take me up there and God bring me back down. We don't even know when we get in our car and go to the store or get on the expressway what can be waiting. That's why I tell y'all, you don't have to have a diagnosis to leave this world. Them people was this close to touching ground. He's we know Elon Musk is not in Africa anymore. He's from South Africa. But he was living in Canada, Tia. He is from South Africa. He was born there. He stayed in South Africa till he was 17 years old. His granddaddy, his family, and everything. His granddaddy did a lot of experimenting. He looked just like his grandfather, but it's somebody else looked just like their grandfather. I mean, identical to their grandfather. So I don't think that he's no robot. But they said his grandfather did a lot of experiment. I don't know if it's true or not, but there was an interview with his nanny, Elon Musk's nanny, but I don't know because she got a lot of holes in her story. One minute she say that she started keeping him when he was little. Then she came back and said she came into his life when he was 13. And it's like, I don't know. But we don't need his help. And see, the thing is that he bought his way in because he gave him $500 million. That's what he gave him. And Elon Musk got 12 children by 3 different women. So I think a lot of our problem is we are getting the new leader don't know what he doing, and he's taking heed to people how they ran their countries. That we're not Canada, we're not British government, we're not South Africa, we're not BRICS. Pay close attention. We've been talking about BRICS for 2 years. I done gave y'all the abbreviation of BRICS, and we've been talking about BRICS for 2 years before he became president. They made it clear that they was going to form an organization to devalue the American dollar. And the British dollar is more valuable than the American dollar. And the American dollar here is worth $300 billion. Is there trillionaires? Yes, there are trillionaires. There's trillionaires in Saudi Arabia. There's trillionaires. You know, you find them that. So what? I didn't know that. You didn't know what? Yeah, he does, Audrey. And one of his kids is a transgender. So he's not listening. That's what's making a lot of the Republicans have buyer's remorse. They got voters' remorse. I'm like, why all the cover up, the truth event? Sometimes it does, and sometimes it's just simply you placing in you're messing with federal jobs. You're causing inflation to increase and not decrease. You don't know what you do. Some countries do things different, y'all. And the thing about it is that we cannot afford, just like DeMadre was saying. Listen, Canada Prime Minister had already warned us, if all this tariff and stuff start coming to his country, that he was going to cut the power off in Chicago, New York, and so forth and so forth. Hey, how was school? Huh? Good. Come on, because you know my back. Don't hurt me. I love you. Listen. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Fix that up. Thank you, Abe. I love you. She upset because they had a competition in school. She didn't get to compete. She's not competing. They fall. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. They set her team down. Did you compete today? Did your team compete? He's still out? Oh. But I know he did, Tiffany, and check this out. We can't afford to do all of our food. Americans want to work those farms for $25 an hour, and the farmers cannot afford to pay us. All right? So therefore, we're messing up. The second thing is that we get import and export, which is also just a part of what the America was built on, which was transportation. This yours. Yours? This was mine? Yeah, this one's mine. And this one's mine? Mm-hmm. But look, come here. Just one of those is yours, a small one. The smallest thing? Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, so in case you need more, you can have that. Because I don't really know. I'd rather go, let me see. I'd rather go back to work every day than take a bogus offer they're trying to shove down. That's what I'm saying, Avis. And the thing about it, the federal government is not offering this. Muskie has wrote this up on behalf of your federal government, offering you this. Hey, I'm just chatting. I can't do nothing. To buy and sell the country to the man for $5 million. No, it was 500 million, Margie, 500 million, not 5 million. No. 500 million. 500 million. Not no 5 million. Trump ain't playing with no little. Okay? He talking big. Basically, this thing was bought. That's why Trump said, I ain't doing no town hall meetings. I'm going to be your president. It's fixed. You ain't got to worry. And then you messed around, and those Quakers, those people out there in Pennsylvania, that's all we needed was Pennsylvania. All we needed them. And they sit around now acting like they can talk with Dickens, and then get Jeremiah, Conning Clark, and then they turn around and they voted. Yes, he went over their head. And he sent that letter out. And listen, the people were telling them, we have to stay focused. Let me tell you something. Hold on, let me help her. We have to stay focused. It's part of God's plan. The end is at... No, it's not at the... No. No, this is... Let me explain something to you. We got to know what the will of God is. There's two wills of God. One of them is our obedience. That's a will. The other will of God is sovereignty. He can do whatever he wants to, when he wants to, however he wants to. So if we are in a spirit of disobedience and we are out of the will of God, things happen. Bioengineers of America food to continue to make. We can't do it. We can't, even our medications and stuff cost more than they do in Canada. That's why a lot of people order their stuff from Canada. The end is not yet. This is the beginning of sorrow, y'all. And let me tell you, Tiffany, what I meant by that is that the end is not now, but it's the beginning of sorrow. And we're turning into hell. That's why Psalms 9 said the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all nations that forget God. We done forgot God. Now, watch this. When things get turned all the way around, the first is going to be last. All these little rich things running around, and the last going to be first. Because some people, but did y'all remember last year when I told y'all, it will not be another recession, but a Great Depression. How many of you remember me saying that it was going to be a Great Depression? Now Tiffany, Austin, I'm not saying you wrong. I am not saying you wrong. Because the second part of that is, we got to accept what God allowed. And I agree with you, Tiffany. But we forgot the reason why it's happening. It's happening out of disobedience. It's happening out of greed. And we are in the last days, but it's not the end. It's the beginning of sorrow. Because before all that mark of the beast come, God gonna take his people out of here. Now that's the word. We're not gonna suffer this persecution. We're not gonna have to get the mark. The rapture gonna come before the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is not gonna come before the rapture. Now, according to the word of God, before the rapture, before the mark comes, he gonna get us out of here. Remember when I said that we were going to be forced to live with each other? I said it in 2023. I said it in 2022. I asked y'all to start buying up stuff, getting deep freezers. And I told y'all we were going to be forced to live together. Do y'all remember all 2023? I kept talking about Mississippi, and I kept saying I want to buy up some of those houses and just get you some land and hold on to it. Remember me saying don't sell grandmama's land, don't sell grandmama's house. We all may have to stay together. Let your children move back home. Remember the lady from Mississippi got mad at me and she fussed me out simply because I said Mississippi wasn't Mississippi problem. Mississippi was our problem. And what I was saying is that we people with money needed to come and save Mississippi because we don't want people like Muskie 4547 to get Mississippi and run Mississippians out of Mississippi because they can't afford the cost of living. What they want to do is grab those farms. Remember me telling y'all this. I said, you said, why Mississippi? Why Mississippi? I said, Mississippi is not developed, but it's got all that amazing farmland and it's around rivers and lakes and the Gulf. It's encased around water. And that will be a great supply to do what they need to. Plus I said about the cars and things like that. Do y'all remember that? And the lady got mad at me. And she kept saying, ain't nothing wrong with Mississippi. I was like, if Deion Sanders come down there and then he can get a lot of his people and we can build it up so that we can do it and don't need the government to do it. Because it's got so much history. Now it's coming to pass. When God showed me something, remember when I told y'all we were in war before they ever announced it? And next thing you know what? 2 weeks later, they announced that we were in war with Ukraine. Last year I sat here and I told y'all. I said, things gonna get bad if you gonna want a piece of land. I said, you better get it. If you want a house, I told Will, if you want it, you better get it by 2025. I said, because after 2025, I said, 2 years, you better get it. I said, you better get it between 2025 and 2026. After that, you ain't gonna be able to get it. Because they pricing us out. Muskie believes in rich and poor. He is trying to do away with middle class. And too much money is involved. So now we're in a situation to where we're going to be paying 50. We're going to have to just work to eat. I don't know how anybody going to be able to pay rent because y'all know I want to share this with you on the real estate side. That's what I said, Rhonda. 2025, 2026. It's going to be a 2 years. I've been telling y'all 2 years. That's what the Lord showed me. 2 years. Chuck Todd done left NBC. No. Ukraine is still in war. Russia's still messing with them. But you won't hear too much now. Deacon Kevin called somebody a fool and blocked him. I don't know who it was. I don't know. But Deacon Kevin said, now you are a fool and blocked. I don't know. But he got you and he don't play. But see, I had something in my head before, but yeah, I knew about Jim. I put his stuff up. whoever it is by, I don't know. I don't need to know what they said either. I didn't see it. I was going to tell y'all something else, but we can't afford to. For instance, if we do our own potatoes, just us, we're going to have to pay about $15 a bag. Farm workers, we want $25 an hour. Oh, well, she didn't call me one because I didn't see it. And so I must be, see, anytime people that voted that way get mad and start name calling, that means I'm telling the truth. I want you to understand. When the lady yesterday was on here, we could talk. But when you get mad and you start calling people names, well, I showed them how to grow their own potatoes. I'm just using that as an example. But the things that we get imported and exported in, we can't afford it. We can't afford to pay the workers. We cannot afford it. We will just be working to eat. Now watch this. This is where we're going to start getting Trump groceries. This is where we're going to start getting the Trump groceries. You know how we used to get the government cheese and all of that? We're going to start getting them Trump groceries. I don't know how many people I got on here. We're going to start getting them Trump groceries. Is Gene P. Conley ain't made it on here yet? When we start getting Trump groceries, we're going to be dependent on the government. Now, I want you to hear this. I know what I want to tell y'all. I want you to hear this. Now, any of y'all that are getting Section 8, any of y'all getting Section 8, you all right this year. This year. But he's going to get rid of Section 8 next year. But everything was locked in stone already. So any of your people that you're renting from on Section 8, you're going to be all right this year. Yeah, Trump groceries. It's a such thing as free Trump groceries. That's going to be the name of it. Wait and see. Anytime, just watch and see. They're gonna be called, I don't know, I ain't seen it, but they're gonna be Trump groceries. All right, and that's gonna be each household that makes this percentage amount of money is gonna be able to get Trump groceries via food stamps. Okay, and that's rationing of food. So I want y'all to prepare to hear it. I ain't heard it, but I hear it. Does that make any sense? I can't prove it. I don't physically. It's gonna happen. If you are getting Section 8, this is gonna be your last year. Anybody that's receiving your Section 8, anybody receiving Section 8 now, whoever takes your Section 8, you're gonna be fine. But not after this year. I thought I heard that he fooled around with Section 8. He put a lot of government stuff, free government stuff, the people you don't want to say, I have it no more. Vivian, after this year, any of us that take Section 8, it's all right this year. They've already let us know the surplus food the government puts back. Antoinette Gates, you're right. But I know for a fact, I'm a realtor. I've been a real, this April will be 21 years. So if you are a landlord, you already know that we are being cleared for this year. For this year. All right. Not next year. Cater My Way said, I heard someone talking about Trump groceries too. Grow your own. JL food blogger, family friendly recipe. It's everybody can't grow their own food. Everybody don't listen. Jimette is on here. Jimette is my sister from Arkansas. And Jimette she got that spirit of farming and nurturing. I want to work on the farm. My condition won't let me. But everybody don't have the ability. And our children's mind is not like that. Our children don't want to farm. Our children want to see the world. Our children don't want to live here. My own daughter talking about going and living overseas. They don't want to fight the government. They rather get up and get their visas and their passports and move and take their jobs that they can work at home right now and move overseas. But I'm telling you, we are all right this year. They've already cleared Section 8 for this year. After this year, he's going to pull Section 8. He's messing with all these government programs. He's messing with SNAP, which is your food stamps. He's the EBT section, the SNAP, the part that we get WIC, for the children, the free milk. Now at the hospital, when you had a baby, you could get your baby and you could lay your baby up on your chest and you could burp your baby and breastfeed him. And they take it back to the nursery. If they got to bring your baby to the room for you to do skin to skin, it costs you money. We can't even do skin to skin on our own baby. Well, what he did with Head Start was Kamala Harris was going to let Head Start be on the federal side, which meant they were going to open it up like kindergarten. He put it back on the state side, which means it's up to each state, which means it's lottery funded again, which means they can only take like 20 kids per, however, how big the school is. It might be 2 classrooms of pre-K, maybe 3 classrooms of pre-K, and that's it. But Kamala was going to make it be on the federal side, which was going to make it be like kindergarten. Kindergarten is not mandatory. But if you want your kid to go to kindergarten, it was going to be like kindergarten. It was going to be open up to the public. And your kids could go to school and start at the age of 3, just like they do in the British government, like they do in Jamaica, like they do in Africa. They all go to school at age 3. America, it's not even required for your kids to go to kindergarten. Younger people are wanting to leave. They do not want or willing to bow down and fight. There's a lot of them already living in Thailand. They living in Bali. They're moving to countries where they're free. They're living in Mexico. A lot of our kids are teaching. They're teaching overseas. They're teaching in China. They're loving the cultural differences. They do not want to be here with all this, they don't. And they just, that's the mentality. That's why I ain't no grandmama. They ain't want no kids. They career oriented, career minded, and they're not going to put up with that. And we're not bashing nobody. We're just talking. I want to leave too. If I get things straight, I like, oh, you want to live in London, in England? I know. I always want to visit there. I always want to go to the old world countries and to the wineries, and I want to stay in a village house. Scotland and different places like that. I just want to see. 45, 47 messing up. Yeah. The president of Ghana has invited us to come. Let me talk about Ghana. Oh my God. I wasn't even going to talk about Ghana today, but can I kind of roll on into Black history for a little bit? Yes. Your youngest want to go to, yeah, my daughter and them, they want to go. And for me, I wouldn't stop them. But you know the saddest thing about Ghana? When we go to Ghana, anybody go to Africa, if you go to Ghana, any parts of Africa, please go visit your ancestors. Now, everybody was not from Africa, but slave trade was from Africa. Majority of this, the different things that happen, because there are still slave holding cells, is what I'm gonna call them, in Ghana, and they built churches on top of them, right? And the slaves would stay there, and people that visit them say you can still smell the rotten flesh and what it smelled like, because it sunk into the fabrics of the cement that they were encased in, and how they died in there, and how they built churches on top of them, and they said it was heaven and hell. Yeah, Darius moved down. Yeah. But it's something else to know how we were in holding cells and everything took place. And some of the holding cells had a skull over them, which means you were never going to get out of them. And if they put 10 men in there and 5 died, they wasn't going to remove until the last one died. So whoever was still alive had to smell rotten flesh. But sometimes they would be in there for 30 days. You know, and if they were still alive, they would get shipped out when the next ship came back. It's time for our Black History moment. How many people I got on here? I know I'm going to lose people during this time, but I'm okay. If y'all okay with it, I'm okay. I don't need a crowd. I don't feel like I'm messing up nothing by telling the truth. I want to tell y'all a quick story. Okay. And it's okay because, see, some people can't stand to deal with Black history. Sometimes I think Black history, he's trying to take Black History Month, but we already know all the executive orders. So Black History Month, he's trying to get mess with FEMA. He's going to take your snaps. He's going to take Section 8. He's already trying to deal with aviation. He signed an order today for aviation with the airports. He is trying not to buy anything. We can't do anything from other countries. Import, export. He's trying to make us grow our own everything. Made only in America. That ain't going to happen. Or else we going to be real skinny. Don't get no weight loss surgery. You won't need it. You ain't gonna need it, honey. One chicken leg per person. Like back in the day when our mom and them used to be like, you get one piece of meat and eat what's on your plate. Yeah, you can go on and close down all these restaurants and places I told you about. I put a list. See, this is when you know the majority of your people don't stand for you. Because I put a list of everybody that was supporting DEI. And I put a list of the places that was not. And on one of them, I had 4 comments. And on the other one, I had 12. It is so sad to say that people come with you. And you can say, well, I only come over here. No, you didn't come on this page to see me cook. Because this is Tracey K Mitchell. Mama's Comfort Cooking is a cooking page. And I didn't write Mama's Comfort Cooking over here on the top of this. So I'm discussing. And we're not even fussing. And the thing about it is that I can tell. Because I know I had just as many white people watching me as black people. But because of what's going on, because of us discussing, because it's happening to us and it's happening to my race, I'm supposed to be quiet, sit back and ignore it because I can't never be bought. I can't never have, I ain't going to talk about it. If you don't, you're just going to sit back for other people to do it. And the thing about it is, we talking about it. We're talking about it. And it's bothering me because the ignorance of it, and you got a platform and you reaching people and you don't use your platform to help your people, then you ain't hitting on nothing. You can be bought very easy. Hold on. Let me read this long comment if I want to. Let me see. Let's see, because somebody come. No, he's not. Let me tell you something. Where did you get this article from? Because this is that all she did was copy and paste it. The majority of it. Let's see who she is. Wanda Keefe. Now, where did you get your information from? You wrote me a whole article telling me this is about Biden and Kamala Harris when this man is signing executive orders every day for the first 2 weeks of him being in office. Explain to me why now y'all gonna do this for the next 4 years. Now I'm gonna tell you something about being transgender or homosexuality. I'm going to break this down to you. And I mean, I'm not mad at you. I'm going to talk to you respectfully because you didn't come to me disrespectfully. But here's the situation. Every time a Democrat is in office for 4 years, Republicans cry like babies and blame and blame. They never have accountability. The next thing is, I do not care if it's a transgender or whatever. They're human beings first. God would deal with them concerning their situation. Only God can judge. You don't have no right to start picking at people because they're dealing. See, you don't get it. Because see, some people don't like you because you fat. They don't like me because I'm fat. You ain't done nothing to them. I can't put no food to my mouth. But a skinny person can have a heart attack because they cholesterol so high. But as long as they skinny, don't nobody have nothing to say. I see cooks sit down and open up and cook late at night, 9 and 10 o'clock at night, cooking a whole meal. She deleted her chapter. Why did she delete it? Oh, so ain't no use in talking to her. She went and took it down. Oh, well, I guess she took it down because I said, where did you copy and paste it from? You see what I'm saying? Because you can't take and add no scripture to back off hate. See, Muskie's son is a transgender. So he's coming after them because he don't like them. Musk and them don't like them. That wouldn't go in Hitler's court. They don't want them to be able to carry their mates on their insurance. We know that we don't have equal opportunity employees. We know why they got rid of that DEI. And y'all gonna still run the Walmart. And y'all gonna still run the Target. And y'all gonna still run the Publix and all those places. No. We got to keep our dollar in our community. There is a black Amazon. And I'm going to see if somebody responded, but I'm going to find the name of it. But there is a black Amazon. And you can use an order. There is a list of You don't have to keep putting your money where people don't want it. I'm going to show you something. If you go in Walmart, they have already took the international sign section down. You will not see that in their store. It will not say international. That's what we went on now. We could find Jamaican stuff. We could find curry seasoning. We could find the Mexican items. We could find all this stuff that we cook in the international section. We could find Norfolk. We could find all these Asian seasonings. They took the international sign down. If you go in Target, all the black hair products and all the black people's items are on sale. It's called Black Nile, and it's another one too. All the black hair products and all the black Patreon's things are on sale. I thought she wanted to talk. I thought she wanted to talk. She took it down, then she wrote something else. Why did she take her first comment down just to come back and tell me she's a Christian? I don't believe people have to keep telling you they Christians. If they were Christians, you could see it. Christianity is not just you going around saying that you won. Because see, what I realized about Christians is they care about everybody. And they're mostly concerned about folks' salvation. They care about everybody. They don't pick certain people. They don't just pick on homosexuals. And they get out here and can get drunk and get DUIs and get out here and have sex and then cover it up and make your kid marry the girl because he got the girl pregnant, or you married who you didn't really want to marry because you was messing around and playing around. See, what my thing is, when we all know we come short of the glory of the Lord and we all fall, we can't pick and choose who to pick on. We can't pick and choose what we want to say. Then you want to come say you're a Christian and tell me to educate myself. Now you ready to start calling me names. But see, a Christian understands it. The Bible say, come let us reason together. So you're not really wanting to reason together. You want to come over here and get mad. Go get some of your friends and come back over here like we dragging somebody. And when we discussing and we ain't fussing. Now you want to tell me you're a Christian. But you the one brought transgender in. You the one brought it up. What about everything else? Are we gonna be like Israel? If you still in Israel, they cut your hands off. So what sin are you gonna pick to ride on somebody's neck? You such a Christian, but you'll go to your son or your daughter's baby shower if they ain't married, if you ain't covering it up. That's what I think. I think people are people and they should be loved, and you let God let them work out their soul salvation. Well, I don't know who told somebody they weren't getting food stamps. That lets you know you ain't been over here, Cindy Butch, because we ain't even got on food stamps yet. So, with disrespect, because I see you a lot older than me, we ain't even talking about food stamps today. We was talking about Section 8. You got to know the difference. And so, you running over here, and you don't know what you ain't listened to the whole thing. And we were also talking about the federal workers, because we got some on here that received those letters, you know, that Muskie sent out, trying to make them a deal to help them to resign. And state officials are telling them not to do it. So you really have to come and listen. Because see, now you stuck on food stamp. Well, you know, if you make $800 a month, you can't even get but $20 worth of food stamp. So why is you over here worried about food stamp? We ain't worried about food stamps. And we do know they trying to get rid of Social Security. And we do know they trying to get rid of the IRS. They supposed to love all people. But people pick and choose who to condemn. See, these people, they go get folks. See, that's how we supposed to be. You see how they running over there? Getting the musketeers. And he a Democrat. Muskie is a Democrat. It's no misinformation. You ain't been over him. So who scanned somebody? Cindy Butch, who scanned somebody? Nobody over here scared because we ain't getting no yams. You can't make no money to get yams. The yams is the least of our worries. People on fixed income can't get no yams. So who's scaring somebody to think they ain't going to get their yams? I'll wait on you to respond. Like I say. Well, you said it, Netta Johnson. That's right. But see, that's what happened anyway. I was trying to give y'all a Black history fact because that's what happened. The dungeons that they put us in, they built churches on top of them over in Ghana and different places where they held the slaves. And they said that we were in hell, and that's why we were underneath their churches. And we were rotting and dying. But they still believe their ancestors went to heaven. What is happening with Section 8? I have 23 rentals with people on Section 8. Oh, this year you fine. Ain't nothing gonna mess with your money this year. It's subject to go away next year. Everything was already signed by Biden's order before Trump. And we got the information indicating you should have received a letter that all your Section 8 was good for 2025. It may not be there in 2026. Waiting to see when the executive order going to be signed on that. But they said they only guaranteeing this year. If you got that many rentals, you should know about it. I'm on Social Security and didn't get but 23, and I'm trying to tell you. So that's why I couldn't understand when she said people scam people that they ain't gonna get their yamps. I'm like, who getting some? You can't get but $23. Look how high groceries is. That won't even buy you a pack of chicken wings. They said that if you got rental properties that's on Section 8, you will receive the money this year. Everybody gonna be covered in your rental properties. But after this year, it's supposed to be an executive order. They only guaranteed us this year. And after this year, we may not have it. So your tenants will be notified if we don't receive a letter indicating that they're going to extend it. This will be the last year for it. We buy Black. We're going to have to keep it that way. Now, I don't mind talking to Miss Cindy because she ain't coming on the wrong way. But that other girl, she just got mad. And I can't stand when people start talking about they're a Christian. Quit telling me you're a Christian. I mean, really? That's getting old. I will have to call them. Well, you're welcome. You all right this year, Miss Cindy? We gonna be fine this year. I'm telling you. You gonna get it. As long as they comply, as long as you ain't got no slumlord rental properties, and as long as they in there, whoever you got in there, you gonna get your money this year. Because it was already signed off by the Biden administration. But after this year, it's a toss in the air. I thought Jean P. Conley Sanders was on here. I like to do my Black History moment with her. Because I always like to tell some things. And if y'all give me an opportunity, I would like to do Black History. How many people I got on here? This is a good lesson. And I want to tell y'all about the last. These are things that, one of them is things that we may have known. We didn't know the details of it. And both of these stories I want to tell you is connected with Alabama and Georgia. Is my Jean on here yet? Y'all. Okay, let's get started. She here? Okay. The first story I want to tell you about, because you all know we were globally melanated, right? That just means that we did not come just from Africa, okay? But we globally melanated. That means Indians was here. That means we were in the four corners of the world. And so, y'all ready for me to get started on Black History? Okay, so we know that they were supposed to stop exporting and importing slaves. There was an order called the Act of Prohibiting the Importation of Slaves, and it was signed in 1808. The problem was the last ship, the Catalina, was the Catilda was 1860. So basically, 60 years prior, almost 52 years, they had signed the act, no more slaves. But there was a ship still running slaves. And they were running slaves. And that's one thing you won't find as a slave ship. Because they were still running slaves when it was prohibited and it was signed off. Now, what happened was our Constitution of Convention at the time, which is what it was called, the Constitution of Convention. All right. And the Constitution of Convention, the founding fathers were arguing and going back and forth. So they came to agreement that you could keep the slaves that had already been imported, but you could not bring any more new slaves. But people with ships were still running slaves, and they were running them with the products that they were importing and exporting. That's kind of the deal with what we're dealing with right now. There's just no way we can grow all our food we never have. So they would hide it in the okra and the corn and the stuff that they were importing and exporting as though they were bringing in harvest, but they were slaves. Now, what would happen if the ship got caught? They would take and they would line the slaves up, chained up, and they would push them off of the ships into the ocean and let them drown. And then then whatever the sharks didn't eat up, the slaves washed to shore. The last ship, and this lady called this town a cult the other day, and that's kind of what upset me and made me tell this story. So slave trade, the last ship brought in about 110 slaves. And slave ships was not designed to last 500 years. But what happened is that they burnt the ships, especially when they would get caught, when they weren't supposed to still be bringing us in. So the last run that is on record is in 1860. Again, it was the Catilda. It went to Mobile, Alabama. We say Mobile. They say Mobile Bay, Alabama. And yes, African Town. African Town is the town that these slaves on this last run built. And it is not a cult. Now, there is a book called Barracoon. Barracoon. And it's by Zornell Hurston. And you can read. Now, what I did find out was that the National Museum of African American History and Culture is playing a part in the research and the preservation of the Catilda. And the Catilda was rediscovered. They supposedly have found this ship in 2019. Now, that is interesting to me because when the lady began to tell me that African Town was a cult, I knew that African Town had something to do with the last slave run. They actually found I just said that in 2019, they found the remaining of the ship. And they're trying to preserve it. But most of the slave ships were burned up. They were made out of wood. They weren't meant to last 500 years. And they burned them up because some of them were covering up the evidence of running slaves. Okay? Catilda. That's how you spell it. Clotilda. That's why I said Zora Neale Houston. That's who it's by. And it's called Barracoon. Barracoon. And it deals with the slave ships and how they were running slaves after they had signed or ordered not to. Hold on, let's get this scammer out of here. Deacon Kevin, we got a scammer in here. Let me get him out. I see him. His name is Rocky. Let me get Rocky. It's gone. Okay. Next, I want to tell y'all one more story. Hey, Becky, Ann. So this is our Black History moment because he's gonna also try to do away with Black History Month. It ain't gonna happen, Captain. First of all, history is history. American history is American history. And Black history just to be taught in the month of February, the shortest month, to tell all this amazing history, it just really is not fair. But I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Now, this is a story that happened in a small town called L.F.E, Georgia. Now, you may have not never heard of L.F.E because I hadn't. But I know the towns that L.F.E is next to. L.F.E is about 15 miles north of Americus, Georgia. And about 50 miles from south of Columbus, Georgia. And it's a small little town. And it's called L.F.E. The owner named it after his daughter. You know, we got a lot of small little towns that some of us in Georgia have never heard of because they didn't never really grow. And a lot of them just ended up being farmland or people just living there. They got their own little post office. They got their own little zip code. But it's just like in the state of Georgia, the city that got the most land is Columbus, Georgia. But Columbus is not developed like Atlanta, Georgia. So a lot of people don't realize it. The biggest thing Columbus, Georgia got going for it is that it's got a military base on there. What did somebody say? I was trying to read what somebody said. Somebody had said something about Ella, Georgia, Ellaville, but I missed it. So I don't know. African Town is located in Plateau, the city of Pritchard in Mobile. Well, that's what we said. African Town in Mobile, Alabama. All right. It was something somebody said, but it's near. Anyway, it's near. I've heard of Ellaville. I've been through it. See, I've never been through it. Thank y'all. Listen. Anytime you do Black History, anytime you talk facts, so far my numbers didn't climb today. You know why they didn't climb? They didn't climb today because I'm telling the truth. I told the lady yesterday, come back and see me concerning what I said and what she said and what she was asking me, and she didn't come back. See, I have not disrespected nobody. I haven't slandered nobody. I'm talking about what's happening on the news, and I went and did my homework. I went and did my own research. And so that makes people drop off. The second thing is that folks don't want to hear about Black history. And they think black history is just going to slander and scandalize their name. No, Black history is American history. And the thing about it is you shouldn't have to just tell it in 1 month. I told y'all along I was going to do Black History 365. I think I'm going to start doing it over there on TikTok. I think I'm going to start telling some of these stories. I think I tell good stories because I got one to tell y'all now. And as long as I got an audience, whether it's 500 or 600 or 200 or 150, it really does not matter because at the end of the day, I know who I am. And if I'm the same person that can draw an audience when I get in the kitchen or bake a cake, then I ought to be the same one that you can listen to it with respect. But I'm going to tell you a story anyway, so I'm on bed rest. What I got to lose? Okay? I don't have nothing to lose but people that don't want to hear my history. I don't have nothing to lose with doing my own research. I don't have nothing to lose if you don't want to watch me. That's just you just don't. Okay? So let me tell you a story. This happened in 1948. Let me see. My mama was born in 1942 and my mama is 83. So this is 6 years after my mama was born. So my mama was 6 years old when this happened, okay? So this is roughly 70 something years that this happened. And what ended up happening, what had happened was around 78 years ago. There was a lady named Rosalie Ingram, all right? And she lived in this town called Ellaville. And Rosalie had some children. And this is involving her and two of her sons. One of them's name was Wallace. He was 17. The other one's name was Sammy Lee. He was 14. All right. And what was taking place was Ella and her boys were sharecroppers on this white man's land. His name was John Stafford. And John got drunk. He was the landowner, and they sharecropped on there. And John got drunk. And while Ella was working in the fields, John went up there to Ella with his shotgun, and he hit Ella in the head. But let me go back. It actually did not happen. She was sentenced in 48, but it started in November the 4th, 1947. And he went to the field, and he hit her in the head with his shotgun. And he had a shotgun and a knife. And he hit Miss Ingram. She was a widow. She was a sharecropper. And she was not bothering him. And he hit her in the head. And he attempted to ape her. You get what I'm saying? Her boys was working in the field, and they heard their mama scream. And they ran to see what was going on. And they saw what he was doing, trying to ape their mother. One of the sons, he had a farm tool in his hand, and he hit him in the head. And when he hit him in the head, it killed John Stratton. But only one of the boys did it. But needless to say, the sheriff arrested the mama, who was beat up and abused, and both of her boys. Even though the sheriff said they could tell it was self-defense, they were black. So February 27th, 1948, they were scheduled for execution. They were going to be put to death by the electric chair. Well, they went on back and forth to court. They ended up saying that they was not going to execute them. However, every one of them was up for execution. This is what's going to blow your mind. One of them was 14, one was 17. Do you know that the Supreme Court just banned and stopped executing children in 2005? Did you hear how many years ago this was? They just turned over that ruling to stop executing children in 2005. So what they end up doing, they sentenced this family and they gave them life in prison. They did a decade. They did 10 years. And they were up for parole in 1959. Now, they were up for parole and was sentenced because somebody tried to rape their mom. And the sheriff knew it. But check out how long you think their court case was. How long you think when they went to trial? I'm glad you asked. Their trial lasted one day. All white jury, one day, they found them guilty and wanted to death by electric chair for unliving an armed white man in self-defense after he violently assaulted and threatened them. A one-day trial for 3 people. It was already fixed. Thanks be to God, but ain't it amazing that just in 2005, they turned over the Supreme Court, banned them executing minors. I'm here to tell y'all that history in and of itself It's going to have to tell itself. Somebody said earlier, eventually the truth going to come out. But can we handle the truth? The truth is coming out right now. The Bible told us, that lady said she was a Christian. The word of God says a house divided won't stand. And we got these people dividing America. And I told y'all in 2023, they were going to come for middle class. I said, no, y'all, middle class. I kept saying it. I said, they're going to come for middle class. It's going to be like a third world country. And when it becomes a third world country, it can't sustain itself. It's going to be rich or poor. You can go to Africa right now. If you go to South Africa right now, South Africa look like America. It's got everything. Some of them got nicer Walmarts than we got. Walmart over there in Mexico. Baby, Walmart and Publix is in Mexico. Honey, China got a Walmart that's inside of a mall. It looked like a mall because when you go in their places, they have things like they food areas. They got different stores inside the mall. They got just Chinese stores, everything in Chinese. And then they got American. Baby, they Walmart got escalators and elevators. You go up on the third floor in they Walmart. Tracey, what was, I'm sorry. Tracey, what did she say? The mother's name. Okay, I'll tell you her name. Rosa Lee Ingram. Her name was Rosa Lee Ingram. Her sons' names was Wallace and Sammy Lee. She was a widow. Christians also use the Bible to atone. Absolutely. They use it the wrong way. I was just telling that story and I jumped off of it. So basically what I was saying earlier was if you go to Ghana, Paula, Ghana have these slave cage, these holding cells where they held slaves. They would put 30 slaves in one. It was cement casings. They were archways like cement casings, dungeons basically. They used the bathroom there. They died there. They had minstrels there. They bled out there. Whatever. If they survived, they took them. Sometimes they stayed in there 30 days because it took that long for the ship. It took 2 weeks to come to America, 2 weeks to go back. So they would be in that place. Some of them would die from dehydration, starvation, and everything. And they had to live in those deplorable conditions. Above those dungeons, they built churches on top of them. Look it up. And the churches represented that we were bad people because of the color of our skin. And we were in hell and they were in heaven. And so a lot of slave owners, I gave y'all the name of the movie to go and watch. They would use the Bible to keep us in order. And they would use black preachers. And the black preachers would tell them to obey those that had rule over you. And the thing about it, they had 2 different dungeons. One of the dungeons was permanent death. You didn't get out unless you died. So if they put 5 people in there, they had a skeleton over it. And if they put 5 people in there, then each one died. You still had to stand there with that rotten carcass until all of you died. Then they removed all the bodies at one time. Just like we didn't have burial sites, they just would either gather us and burn us and throw us in the ground. Plus, a lot of Christians at that time too. They were cannibals. They were eating slaves. Remember, I told y'all how the European people were. They said that they were cavemen, barbaric. They didn't bathe. They were uneducated, and the northern slaves from North Africa came, the Moors, and they began to escape coast in Ghana. That's why I said in Ghana. My daughter-in-law is from Ghana. I'm going to ask her about it. Wow. She knows it. That's why sometimes they get offended when we come to Ghana and we don't go pay homage to our ancestors and visit those places. They have it up for us to visit. You can look it up yourself. You can still talk to your daughter-in-law. She'll tell you that they're there. They still there. Now, the people that I went and visited, when I did research, it said that you could still smell the rotten flesh and stink. You know, they said you can still smell it within the walls, and they got lines in there. The walls got scrapes, and the scrapes came from the fingernails of the slaves trying to scrape themselves out. It's like you were buried alive, and they were trying to scrape themselves out of those dungeons. So we went through a lot. And I'm going to tell you this much. We got to come back to Christ. When the saints get on one accord, we got to come back. Something has got to make us want to pray. Hey, Rosemary, honey, I got to call you. Something has got to get us back on our knees. You know, when I was little, we used to sing a song, down on my knees when trouble rise. I talk to Jesus beyond the sky. He promised me he'd hear my plea if I would tell him down on my knees. Whether you go in a church or not, we got to start praying. The weight of the world can drive you to your knees. But food is finna get crazy. You better teach your kids the truth, because you can be able to. We talked about all these things. About getting your kids ready to not. See, that's another thing. I was going to talk about it, but I hadn't got to it. That's another thing. We were brainwashed. Not just black people. People in general. Black people, white people, we were brainwashed. They played elevator music. That's the number one fact, that they play music in clothing stores and grocery stores to get you to buy, to take your mind off of what you are spending. They play music. Christmas, Christ is Christ-like. And Christmas came from the Germans. And it was designed to produce money. They took it and they made it a pagan holiday for money. The end of the year for people to come. They took the same dynamics in the Bible when people would go to the synagogues, to the Catholic churches. Because remember, Catholic church, way before there was Baptist, Episcopalian, Methodist, AMEs, and before there was Kojic and PAWs and Independents and Full Gospel and so forth, there was the Catholic Church. And it was in Africa, the largest religion, the Catholic Church. I don't want to hear nothing about Judaism and none of that, because we know that still the number one religion, the biggest one, Catholic Church, came out of Africa. That's why you see black Catholics, priests. That's why you see the priest, when he was bowed down and kissing feet, when he was kissing those people's feet that were from Africa and different people, and that was from the British government, he was kissing their feet for peace. They have a peace treaty with another country, and he was asking them to remain peaceful and do not declare war. It's a video up. The priest was kissing the feet of these black people. Y'all haven't seen it? I don't know what I did with my other phone. Sometimes. And so they used that for us to buy. See, what the opposite was, that people took their first fruits up to the Catholic Church because the priest lived there and the choir lived there, the praise and worship team lived there, the altar boys lived there. And so you took the church the first fruits to take care of them. Remember when Hannah went up there? Remember when Hannah made her way up to priest Eli, the priest, and she wanted a baby? And the next year she came back. Remember she left Samuel with the priest? Who all remember that? See, in Black history, you're going to always get some church lesson. But I'm going to wait for y'all to respond because I'm not seeing no comments move. Let me get my other phone out because they probably done stopped my comments. Somebody probably done got mad. Hold on one second. The last comment I saw was Gene P. Conley. Let me turn this down so I can see the comments. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, now I see Janice Gillis, Fatima, and Paula. So basically, Hannah went up and they were offered their first fruits. That means everything you had out your garden, the animals that you slayed to put the blood stain, they would go up to the holiest of holy. They would ask the priests to offer their sins up, just like the Catholic Church do. They would travel, and nobody could go in the holiest of holy, but the priests. And nobody could do the burnt offerings but the descendants of Aaron. Remember, we talked about that, Moses' brother. And remember, we talked about, you remember the king that got beside himself, Nebuchadnezzar's son, and he thought he could go in the holiest of holy, and he broke out with leprosy. Remember that? For being disobedient. See, we're going through something for our disobedience right now. So that's really what they did. It didn't have nothing to do with going to the Macy's and Bells and Walmart and buying your children's stuff. And it didn't have nothing to do with no elves and no Santa Claus. It didn't have nothing to do with that. That story came out of from the Germans. That's when the Catholic Church allowed the Christian church to build close to it. And that was an opportunity to make money. Because you notice we don't take nothing to God's house and leave it. We take it to the stores. And when we got in the stores, we began to play elevator music. Hobby Lobby play only Christian music. A lot of them keep it on a radio station that plays a combination of music. So you might hear something from the 80s, the 70s, the 90s. You might hear a little Sting. You know, I thought my love was meant to be. You might hear a little Barry Manilow. You might hear stuff that take you all the way back. And it make us want to buy and spend more money. You got to come out and come back in, Judy. It make you want to buy and spend more money because I'm not freezing up over here on my other phone. And so we got to get back because right now we ain't gonna you got to worry about a roof over your head, and you're gonna have to lose your pride because it's gonna take it to eat. So you can't sit out here and pay $2,100 in rent. You're gonna have to go fix mama's basement up. You're gonna have to tell your wife she will be able to live with your mama and get along. You're gonna have to tell your husband we going back home. We got to go to small towns where the cost of living is not as bad. We got to relocate. We can't do this. They want to shut California down. What better way? What is it? He changing the name? What's he changing? What is he changing? Guatemala Bay. What is he changing? He changing the name to something. So yes, they whipped us and used the Bible against us because we were obedient. But see, here's the problem. We disobedient. Yeah, I know that. And you know what? They can keep their Christmas trees and everything else. Yeah, the Gulf of Mexico is going to be the American or something, ain't it? And that's a hate for a whole people. I'm going to tell y'all something what I do know. What I do know is, if it was not the Mexicans, it would be the black people. And that's why he's messing around with them civil rights. Because he's trying to find a loophole to do us the same way. We just protected through the civil rights and through the remember I told y'all about the Emancipation Proclamation. Remember I told y'all that there was a preliminary one signed. And the reason why he can't mess with us, because when Abraham signed the final Emancipation Proclamation, the first one he signed, he said, they won't let me free the slaves unless y'all win the war. Well, guess who won the war? Us slaves. We won the Civil War. Don't give us nothing crazy. But you know what? Dollar General is not a supporter. That's my stove. I don't care. Babe, we got out there and see, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I can make y'all cry. I can make a white person cry right now. Because I remember living with poor white people. And I felt so bad. Because my friend found me on Facebook. And we all was poor. I want to say her name, but I can't say it. And I remember when her uncle wrecked his Jeep. And he died. That's when they used to bring the bodies home and sit them in the living room. When no white people brought them no food when Jed died. It was the black people in our community. We took care of them white people. We broke bread. That's when I knew that everybody went bad. But I had a little white friend. And I used to go home and play with her. But one day my mama said, I want you to ask her mama, can she come over here and play with you? Her mama wouldn't let her. And my mama said, I used to play with her mom. I didn't want to tell you this. And she said, where we live, they used to call it Nigg town. And they used to say, take us over to Nick's town. You know what I want to say. And Nickelodeon. And they said, take us to Nickelodeon town. And mama said, they said, oh, we just want to see the Nickelodeons. And mama said I was friends with her mama. So I kept being her friend. And that's one of the people that did me wrong when we turned 50 and went on that trip. She was in cahoots with them after we was friends from kindergarten. But we took care of them. They ate with us. When Jed flipped and died, they ate with us. And we took good care of them. And they took care of us. And we got along. And so I never knew what happened. After we graduated, she left because they didn't ever really get unpoor, you know what I'm saying? And one day on Facebook, about, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, she found me. And she doing good. She don't live here. She doing good. She lives somewhere toward Macon or something. She drive a school bus, married and got grandkids. Got her she sent me a picture, honey. She got her a double wide. Got her a nice double wide trailer. But that's an upgrade for her. And we always loved each other. I love her to this day. I'll probably never go to her house. She'll never come to mine. She told me her mama died and her daddy died. So ain't nobody really left but her and her sister and brother and stuff. But they couldn't live but on our side because they were considered poor trash, you know. And that's why I know all this foolishness, we just divided. In a house divided, a country divided won't stand. I remember when I was little, I had a friend named Sandra. My mom stopped me from playing with her because her parents were very, yeah. Jeanette said exactly 100. I remember when I was a little girl, my stepfather passed away and they brought his body to our living room. Oh, yeah, that's what they used to do, honey. And I'm going to tell you something. I used to go see them little bodies in the living room. But after that, you couldn't halfway get me to go in people's parlor. Because they used to put them in the parlor of the house. And they set them right at the window. Child, I wouldn't even want to walk around the block. I'd be about to pee on myself. And my cousin sister friend was so dirty. She couldn't wait to say, you know, they brought her home. You know, her body's still in there. Their body is in the grave. They done had the funeral. Cause friend used to do stuff to scare me. She say, "Ooh, the bell rung yesterday." Like she had to walk me home. I scratched up my leg so bad. Cause she had scared me so bad. Talking about my granddaddy was coming tonight cause they had buried his sister. And then I turned the corner and she said, "I see her, she after you." And I scraped my legs up the next morning. I think Mama was gonna whoop the skin off of her. Cause she used to do stuff like that.
Mommy.
Huh? Hey. What did you eat?
Chicken.
Just your plate? Or both of them?
One.
Okay.
Little
But yeah, they used the word of God against us. But the thing about it is that we got to come to reality. We have left the church, and we're using the Bible the wrong way again now. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Give me a blow pop.
Which one? Apple. Can we buy some more? Can we buy some more?
Yeah.
Next time we need to buy 2 since we ran out of 1 almost. We got like 4 or 5 left.
Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I enjoy talking to y'all, but I've lost a lot of people for telling the truth. Not being wrong, but telling the truth. And it's okay. Y'all not going to hear me call out some names. And y'all notice I ain't calling out a lot of names. And I don't know how I feel if they'll try to come back. But what I do know is we were humble and we were grateful. And we are disobedient. And I don't care what come our way. Like right now, there is a black principal, a superintendent, in Gwinnett County School System in Gwinnett, outside of Atlanta, Georgia. He gonna take his butt and be gone for 21 days. And he went to Africa. And he didn't even let the Board of Education know that he was going to Africa for 21 days on their watch and their dollar. Now he fired. And he gonna say, this is the wrong time for black people to be tearing into each other. No. That ain't no black people tearing into each other. Gwinnett County Board of Education is one of the largest school systems that we got in our area. The largest one in Atlanta. You can't take yourself to Africa for 21 days and spend... See, don't start saying that now. Talking about this is the wrong time to no, it's the right time to do right and go to church. You done lost your job. This one ain't as good. You done went to Africa. For what? For 21 days? Hey, babe.
You get on my nerve.
They let him go. You see that superintendent in Gwinnett school system, the black man went to Africa for 21 days, didn't let the board or nobody know. Now he talking about this is the wrong time to take each other down. I bet you she didn't either. I don't like this one. I can't taste the green apple. No. No, see, that's what we ain't gonna do. We don't agree, but what I'm saying is true. When the Saints get on one accord, yeah, this is the wrong flavor. This is the wrong company. I don't like this company's. I like the original blow ones.
Oh, that's the Christmassy one.
This one don't have no flavor. It just tastes like sugar.
Mama, you want me to throw this away while I'm in here?
Mm-hmm.
Because it has that other stuff in it?
Yeah, and then you can keep the can.
Can I have this?
What's that? I don't know.
I guess it's just caramel or something.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put it in a bag, then put it in the refrigerator, then make a hard, huh?
Mm-hmm. What I was saying is,
Can I have this stuff?
yes, it's peanut butter brittle. What I was saying is peanut butter brittle. Hey, husband.
Amen. Come on, Daddy. Daddy?
I must look good to you.
Right.
Ooh, I must look when it's good to you. Come here, Eddie. Think Kevin, stop. Hey, husband. I must look good to you.
What is it, Avery? Not right now.
I'll be your lollipop. You can lick me everywhere. Shut up, Jay. Rosemary. Wait.
I'll be in there just a second.
You be here in a second. Okay.
I'm talking to Avery. I want to be on camera. I want to be on camera.
Okay. I turn it around. Why you run? Them little sexy pretty legs.
What is it, Avery? What are you doing? You always trying to find something to put junk in.
This how I smile when I ain't got no teeth.
I mean, every time somebody get a little
Tell
something,
them.
you want to go and put junk in. You threw the candy away, huh? You threw the brittle away just so you could put junk in. Crazy, huh?
Baby. I don't like this sucker. It just tastes like sugar. I'll be your lollipop. I can taste no green in it. I'm not gonna eat this and run my sugar up. It tastes like sometimes I just stuck this in a bunch of sugar. And when I get back on my feet, Mother Laura Jones, I'm gonna bless you. I ain't forgot. Danielle, how you feeling? When you supposed to have your surgery? Hey, Awana Crockett, and let me tell you something. We don't always agree, and it's okay not to agree with me. I don't know everything. I can tell you what the words say. And I can tell you when we get together on one accord. And I can tell you, ooh, you twerking for him, Lisa. And a house divided won't stand. And I can tell you this much. Can lick me up and down till you say stop. Okay, I'm back. It was a commercial. I don't know. That was a commercial. Our church's theme this year is the way. And Jesus is the way. People need to find the way. He is the way, the truth, and the light. That's the word of God, Fatima. And it's going to always be. Yeah, she did throw it away. Tiffany, how we going to say that? Y'all stay out my house. Oh, I'm not going to forget my back. I got my little... I ain't been to the post office. I got to go. It's a commercial break. You can lick me up and down till you say stop. You can do all the things you want to do. Cause tonight, Eddie, I want to get freaky. Commercial break. Lunch out. Cause tonight, Eddie, I want to get freaky. Oh, that was a commercial break. I don't know what's going on. That was a little intermission right there. Let me do that. This is a slow motion commercial break. Tonight, oh God, it doesn't slay me in the spirit. Okay. You have ended your Black History Month. Honey, I ain't going to hell because that's my mind. And the word say laughter good for the soul. Y'all, I used to get so tired of seeing them people in church look like they ate prunes. I ain't did nothing wrong. What I did. What I do. Who almost got baptized it. You know, we added ED to everything. I almost got baptized in it. Yes. I'm having a hot flash. Abe, come turn the fan on. I done worked myself up my neck, Shiny. What they made for? I was married now. Whew. Let me cool off. I turned myself on. You know I ain't supposed to be doing that. And I guess them needles and pain shooters is hitting me. I'm about to take a perk because I'm having a hot flash. Oh, I better not let him try to touch on me tonight. Because, baby, I might really... you done hurt myself. All my little things be done. Superintendent was fired due to 35% an increase in fights. But it's another one. No, but it's another one. Went to they had the board meeting on the news. Look it up for me. He got fired because the woman told him we ain't falling apart. Did nobody tell you to go to Africa for 21 days? Look it up. Whoever said that about Gwinnett, look it up for me. Look it up. I'm gonna have to take a look. Child, I done gotta take a pain pill. I don't work. I feel it going all down, tingling all down in my leg. I can't breathe. I'm having a hot flash. I had no business doing that. Lord, y'all, I'm finna get off of here. I'm finna go on and go to night, baby. I done hurt my back. I had these. See, I get these. They do 3 different screws. They go so deep, they had to deaden me. Then he sticks these things. He give me a little slight cut and do something. And then he start and have to put these needles in my back. They really long. And they go all the way down. Then they start dripping injection in my nerves. But I'm going to have to do something. Because y'all done made me hurt my back. I got to take these power pellets. And I know I don't need to be on here when I take these. Because I've been done talked out of somebody's house. In their bedroom. Also, in my closing, these are the best cough drops. Fisherman. The original. Baby. These are the best cough drops. And I could have been on that plane going to see Rosemary. So you got to put yourself. I want to ask my sisters and my brothers of another race. And I know people going to say tit for tat. I know I agree. Now, I told y'all once before, y'all don't have to agree with me. We didn't have to mess with them monuments. I don't think so. It's a part of history. We didn't have to mess with Aunt Jemima. We didn't have to make a fuss over Aunt Jemima. She didn't create no pancakes. She only was a person that was promoting it. The Confederate statues is a part of what took place. It's a Confederate is a part of slavery and everything else. And Confederates had to go to war. But do you really think it's right to be trying to mess with the civil rights and the Emancipation Proclamation? And your mama, I told y'all her story. She didn't invent anything. And the thing about it, she's buried in Chicago in an unmarked grave And this woman trying to get her tombstone. And she went to what's the name them, and they won't buy one. Quaker. Pearl and Mills, they ain't gonna buy now. I don't think they should be missing. And we not going backwards, y'all. Martin Luther King said, I had a dream. I'm here to tell you, I see it. He dreamed about it, and I got a vision. We ain't. But I think what's going to happen is Congress is going to have to come together. And they're going to have to stop and shut down some of this mess. And I think both parties are going to have to come together. Because if they let a third come in and a fourth come in, yeah, it's our history as Americans. We didn't have to mess with those. Y'all, I know we ain't going to agree on that. I'm all right with that. I just felt like, what was the need? It's a Confederate statue. They want them up. Just don't, you ain't got to go eat up on it. You ain't got to go take a picture in front of it. You know, we got Martin Luther King up there in Washington. And if they try to take that down, we're going to have a Harry Carey. But a statue is one thing. But trying to make people go back in time, I would be afraid to ask a black person to work a field. I know I'm supposed to get off of him, but it ain't kicked in. You know, I'm starting to settle myself right now. Just gonna let me have my little silly moment. Cause ain't that many people on here. I'm sitting up. And then I'm gonna let myself down just a little bit. Okay. It's a dangerous thing to ask me to come work in the field. Or to cook some pancakes. It's a dangerous thing to ask me to be a maid. Soon as you put me in the fields, you're gonna whoop me. I'm gonna break eggs. And piss on your cotton. Because I got a weak bladder. How you gonna put me in the field and my bladder weak? Every night y'all go to bed, I'm gonna burn your fields up. It ain't gonna work. See, we crazy. We too American now. Y'all got Frederick Douglass, and then we got a whole town named after Douglasville. With his cheating self. He cheated on his wife. He had him a woman for 28 years, and he wouldn't even marry her. He married a white woman. I just wouldn't be a good worker. If we go back, I'm going to be a retired nanny. I ain't know where they can put me but to whip me. Because I'm telling y'all what I'm going to do. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. If I went in the kitchen to cook for them, everybody going to have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I'm going to cook stuff with so much fat and salt. They ain't going to want to eat nobody else because they going to think everybody else's food ain't got no flavor. It just ain't going to work. Not for me. I'll be peeing all over the cotton. The touch, to feel the cotton, the fabric of his life. And then now we know how to wipe too. That cotton will be messed up. It'll be a whole section. Just like how we can eat them cantaloupe and them tomatoes because them field workers was peeing in the field. It would be too much cross contamination. I can't work nowhere. Ain't no way you can put me where we shouldn't. But at the same time, Mitzi, at the same time, baby, the problem is those Mexicans was willing to work at a low pace, low income because they wasn't citizens. And we ain't willing to do the job. We ain't. I just felt like if we trying to find our history and we want our history taught, leave their history alone. It is not for me to mess with their history. Let them tell their history. It's for us to tell ours. They gonna cross paths. And only God know the truth. We know that we all was not here. I mean, we know that we all was not just in Africa. But I can't work. I'm not a good plantation. I would be hard-headed. I'd break their eggs. I'd be like snunk and I'd be saving everybody. I'd be like, Janice, come by. I'm picking eggs at the chicken house. Meet me behind the chicken house. On the side, I'm going to leave you a basket of eggs for Aunt Bessie. She love a good boiled egg. Go on and boil all of them up. Dig a hole in the floor. Get your pan and put it down there. And the earth going to keep them eggs cool. Late at night, give Aunt Betsy some eggs. We just going to boil them all. And we ain't going to let them know. They won't have enough eggs to say. Ooh, it's starting to hit me. They ain't going to have enough eggs to say. They won't have enough to sell. They going to be like, where Tracey? She out back behind the chicken house. What's she doing back there? She back there with Mister. What he got her behind the house for? He about to whip her for breaking eggs. Every night I throw eggs at their window. I just won't be good. I just tell you right now, I will be whipped. I will. They'll probably just put me in the church somewhere. I don't know where they would find me, but I'll be blessing everybody. I'll be dropping eggs off left and right. I'll be going out in the smokehouse and cutting meat up. I'll be cooking more than they supposed to have. I said, well, we's out. It was, what you talking about? We's out of pork chops. We've had them 3 days this week. Girl, I know when I cut their pig up, I cut up 40. Yes, sir. Well, it's only 5 of us in this house. You's get 2, she's get 2, I's get 2. Who told you to get 2? Well, I thought you said I could eat. Child, I be down here, everybody. We be living good and free. You don't want me to pay taxes no more. You let me keep my house and my property. Child, it's time to go. It's time. I love y'all. I'm so sorry. I ain't trying to make everybody upset. I would come back later, but y'all don't want me to something go over here on TikTok. They like me. Oh, that battle was good last night on TikTok. Oh, he got like number 3 in the whole United States. Because you know TikTok in other countries. But he was number 3 in the United States. And I think he got $2 or $3 million in gifts. And I think that's like, I don't know, maybe $30,000. That was a good battle. They be dropping serious stuff. They be dropping unis, which is like $300 for you to buy. Them people was dropping universes. They were dropping lions, TikTok universe, the unis, and $300 and $400 gifts. Oh, Bridget, Bridget, you ain't on TikTok no more? They had a battle last night. It was good. I didn't know you could make that kind of cash. And you can really become successful on TikTok more than you can on Facebook. When I say battle, what do you mean? You get up and you go on live. And you can bring somebody else up and split your screen. And your people give you gifts to beat the other person on the other side. And if you got people with money, they drop big gifts. So, like how y'all give me stars. Like right now, I don't got $10 worth of stars. $10 is if I get 1,000. So can you imagine how much it is when you get 3 million? Bridget, why did you do that? I be over there looking at your stuff. You still up, girl? I be commenting on stuff. Why did you do that? They said don't delete it. And so you can battle. And the better you get with your battle, the more, yes, like y'all can send me, I need 300 stars to make it be 1,000 stars to top it off for the day. But theirs be, and people, you have to go re-up. You go to TikTok.com/coins or re-something. Baby, you ain't have no reason to be scored. God is with us. And they make a lot of money. They make some money on TikTok. They really do. And you know what? You don't have to do nothing over there but talk. Like, they pay them to talk. They turn their camera on and they be like, all right, it's time to battle. And then they be like, come on, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Then it'll tell them how many things. Okay, we need 25 roses from 25 different people. And then it'll tell you, okay, this is times 2. So whatever you send them is times 2. You got 30 minutes to send them stuff. So if you send them a universe, it'll cost you $15. But it'll be times 2. So instead of it being 1,000, it'll be 2,000. If you sent them a lion or a uni, that can be 10,000. If you send them a dolphin, that's 2,000. It would be 4,000. So they make money. Just like how today, they don't do no $10 over there. They don't do no $7 over here. They drop. Like how I used to get dropped when I first came on during the pandemic. Because people weren't spending their money nowhere. They couldn't go nowhere. So I'll be getting off the live with 1,000 stars. 100,000 stars. I would be getting off. I sure would. I sure would. Y'all, I gotta go. Oh, let me tell you something. They so upset about losing TikTok because them young people making money. And let me tell you something. This one guy, he moved to Thailand, and they do TikTok. And they living so good. You ought to see that house they living in. They got a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. They don't pull credit. They just want to know you can afford it. The groceries are cheap. I saw this man go through and get all his groceries for $47. Groceries are so dirt cheap in China. We can't afford to just do our own stuff. We can't just do made in America. I ate a little oatmeal this morning. And I drank a ginger ale just a minute ago. You having a lot of hot flashes because you had that sugar? No. I didn't eat that. You didn't see me when I told you I wasn't going to eat it. Here it is. See? I didn't eat the sucker. No, I didn't eat that. I said I wasn't going to eat it. It just tastes like sugar. No, I'm not. I'm good. I think, it be a certain time my body release. I have to have medicine in me. Yep. So, everything is cheap. Y'all, I hope y'all done enjoyed me. I sure enjoy y'all. Be good to each other. Can y'all still hear me? Huh? But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I can't eat that food real good, I get sick. I get heartburn. I know y'all don't want me to come back later, so I ain't. Just wanna. Can y'all hear me? All right, I'm gonna get off of here. I can't hear myself. I love you, Mother Charleston. I had injections done and nerve blockers and all that yesterday. I'm finna go. I'll follow sleep watching TikTok. I love y'all. Let's see y'all later. I got to get off of here. Come back. Y'all. Look at my eyes. Do you see what I see? You see how I change them? That's why I'm getting off this medicine. I ain't no ear sucking dog. They're going to give me that stimulator. We're going to do a fundraiser. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all later, honey.